20th. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to
allegiance
the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll do the approval of the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve as presented.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Claims.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Dusty, you're up.
So crews have been long arming the roadsides. We've made repairs to truck aids are completed. We've received another payment from FEMA on the 2025 flooding. Total received is $13,279. And I also have a Mylar copy of our Howard Road survey we had done that you all had signed. And that should finish us up on Power Road. Y'all want something now or taking into the plan?
We're trying to, that's fine.
I got one.
Old business.
I got one more.
Oh, my bad.
The last thing I got is our bids for Bridge 16. Now, when you all go through these, you can make a recommendation on the contingency that the engineers look at and make sure all the paperwork is in place.
Okay. See what, you got an eye?
Well, I kinda got one. Good much.
And this is for a full replacement of Bridge 16 on Moundsville.
Looks like the first one is from McAllister. Let's see. Is this one? Their bid come in at
There should be itemized.
I think he had the total project bill.
Yeah. That might be it on those things. Usually we have an itemized list.
Okay, so bid come in at $841,500. This.
Second bid is Dave Amera. They come in at $760,429.
Make a motion to approve construction of Bridge 16 to Dave Meyer Construction in the amount of $760,429 contingent upon all necessary documentation, bonds, et cetera, being provided.
I'll second. All in favor? Aye. Do this go to you?
I'll have to take them back in here. Sir?
Is that all for you?
It's all for me, yeah.
Old business, we're gonna do the casino revenue sharing tonight. We have some new numbers that's been presented by John Bond. We originally based everything on 5 million. So we're gonna relook at that and revise numbers.
So do you want to look at it now, or? I mean, I brought this just in case you needed it. So I think, is your intent to have discussion on what we think is a reasonable estimate on the revised number?
Right, so the revised numbers have come back of 5.4.
If you look at what John submitted today, historically, the casino revenue's been down approximately 4% a year every year for the last several years. If you use 6.5 million, which is what we ended up with in 2025, 4% of reduction in the 6.5 million comes to around $270,000, I believe.
I'm gonna try to find that, John's.
Be 244,000, I think, maybe actually, ballpark. But the other significant difference is if we don't hit that threshold of 75 million, then it's an additional 10% in 10% reduction in revenues. So right now, it doesn't appear that in 2025, they'll hit the 75 million. They come in just over the 75 million in 2026. So if we take the 750,000 difference, for not hitting the 75 million, and yet you add the 240,000 historical reduction, that's about 1.1 million.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you take the 6.5 from 2025 minus the 1.1, I think we could reasonably, fairly safely assume 5.4 would be, we should be able to hit 5.4, I guess is what, how I interpret his email anyway. And if we change the target from 5, or then the estimate from 5 to 5.4, let me just pull that spreadsheet up real quick.
And we're wanting to take Vivi and Patriot back to their original amounts. You're still going to get less because, as Jamie explained, less is coming in, so less is going to go out. It's just simple math.
So if we change that to 5.4. And if we didn't change the percentages, if we go back and so the towns of Patriot and Vivi,
Add that back.
put them back at 3 and 1.125 respect, wait a minute, 25 rate, 3.125 and 1.25. 3. Now we're gonna have to reduce a 0.25% somewhere, right? And that's, one of the things that, and we can have this discussion based on the meeting the other night and feedback I've received. There's a lot of negative comments out there about continuing to fund the grant fund. When we're asking the county to reduce its operational costs by $1+ million, but continue to fund NGOs. I've gotten a lot of feedback that people don't think that's right. So my opinion is that I think we should reduce it from the grant fund as opposed to some other fund. But that's just my opinion.
What's the grant?
The grant fund's currently in at 1.5%.
Yeah, so take that down.
to 1.25.
Yeah, 1.25. I'm fine with that.
So if we did that, it'd have to 5.4. So for example, law enforcement year over year, because we raised them up by 0.5% from 5 to 5.5%, that year over year, they would be getting $18,000 less. So they'd be getting 18,000 less than they did in 25. SCER would be getting 45,000 less, but we've already had conversations with Ryan, and he felt like he could, what we was getting, even at the 5 million, would fund the difference. So we should be fine there. Commissioners, 36,000 less. The grant fund, 90,000 less. So the grant fund would basically get 67,500. Switzerland County Schools, 20,000 less. Town of Vivi, if you just leave them at the 2025 rate, would be 28,000 less. Town of Patriot, 11,000 less. Cotton Township, 1,700 less. Craig Township, 1,100 less. Jefferson Township, 1,800 less. Pleasant, 1,600 less. Posey, 1,600 less. York, 1,200 less. And fire chiefs, 18,000 less. And that's all based on $900,000 less year over year. Obviously the fund that gets hit the hardest is rainy day or emergency fund, and it's down 671,000 of that 900,000.
But aren't we obligated to a certain amount on the school?
This is all discretionary. The only thing that of casino revenue that's required is the 10% right off the top that goes to Ohio, Ripley, and Crawford
Right.
counties.
Yeah.
The rest of it's all discretionary,
Okay.
is my understanding.
Jefferson Crawford.
Is it Jefferson? Okay, Jefferson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said Ohio.
I'm okay with that. And
I know
we have several people in the audience, so that some of this stuff affects. So I don't want to open it up to a massive discussion. I was at a meeting last week, heard Wade's concern, but we also have the fire department here as well. And what'd you say their hit was?
18,000.
Anything in my you take them from 5 to 5.5 as well.
Right. And again, less money's coming in. You know, what did we start off with about 20 years ago?
A lot more than what we receive
Yeah,
now,
so-
more than double.
Yeah, been cut in half. This is what's going on. Everyone's getting cut.
And quite honestly, it's my understanding that if they don't hit that 75 million threshold, the impact in 2027 is 1.4 million, not just 750,000. So 2024 is going to even be more difficult. And if you look, I went back earlier today through the information that John sent. So that'll be made up, the boat's on a fiscal calendar, which is July through December. So July through December and December through June, whatever. And if you add up the revenue, July through December, it comes to like $36 million. If you go back and look historical, their January through June's even worse than their second half. So I don't have any confidence at all that they'll hit the 74 million if the current trend stays
Right.
consistent. And I'm fine with taking questions if any of the trustees, or I know
Fire-
Town of
fire
B, we had questions, fire department.
Like, we're like you, trying to figure out what's going on. You know, and where we need to consolidate or talk about things we need to do also, so. We were contacted, the trustees were all contacted by Bascom last week. I don't know if he's here tonight or not.
It's
But, he said, you know, we could be facing cuts, looking at consolidating, so, you know, we're just trying to figure out what we need to plan for.
Yeah, and I've heard that as well, that new state law, I don't know if it's SB1 or what is impacting it.
Well, there's a House Bill 1315 also.
Right.
So,
So basically, it would eliminate trustees
Trustees.
and bring everything basically on us and Gail.
My understanding is it'll be a
One
consolidation, one person
Okay. But
will handle the
Yeah.
bulk of that.
right now, you know about as much as we do. Unless we got a council member here. Matt, do you know anything
And
else?
You're saying it the way that I've heard it, guys.
Right.
So I don't think Jared could offer anything more. I think there's a vote coming next week.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he told us.
Right.
So I guess the best advice I could give the towns, the fire departments, fire chiefs association, whatever, the trustees, is if history continues to repeat itself, expect about a 4.4% reduction in your revenue every year. But the big kicker is the casino having 75 million in revenue from, I'll say, non-sports betting activities. Because if they don't hit 75 million, then we take the much bigger hit. And so then then that's going to be a huge problem for all of us, because if it drops down to 4 million, right off the top, 1.5 million of it is employee medical benefits of that 4 million. Then you've got, like I said, you've got the sheriff's department that's, I'll just give you the actual dollars. 300,000. You got SCER that's 300,000. The commissioners is right at $1 million. You've got fire chiefs that's 300,000. So with those kind of numbers, $4 million don't last very long, right? So if it gets to 4 million, it's going to be a struggle. I mean, we're all going to have to figure out how we do things different, right?
We don't get a slice of the sports book up there.
No, and it's
That's-
almost 50% of their total
Yeah,
revenue.
that's a thing you can do. Call your rep, because bills are going through the state now on a sports spec. It's a massive amount that they're bringing in up there, and we don't get a dime of it.
John had that on there. I think it was, their
I want to say it was
gaming operation was like 75 million. The sports betting was like another 68 or
It
70
was like,
million,
I
I
think
think.
$46 million.
Was it just 46? I was thinking it's
And the
higher.
online betting doesn't go in there either.
Yeah,
Yeah, so,
It's only the in-house betting.
hit up Garrett Bascom and, the Dearborn County guy, lost his name,
Jefferson County.
Dearborn County, rep. I'll think of it here.
Oh, Maxwell,
Yeah, Randy
Randy
Maxwell.
Maxwell.
Anything else from the audience?
I'm not speaking as counsel, I'm speaking as a public citizen.
Right.
I'm listening to what you guys are saying, and I agree, you might be able to get to 5.4. Maybe you get to 5.4, you don't know. And you're counting on John Bond. And I like John, I've worked with him, but your treasurer is the end all be all. Now, you guys asking the treasurer what her thoughts are. It's the treasurer's job to manage this. But when you look down that list of what you just cut, you get to those volunteer fire departments and you get to those trustees. You got 67,000 guys sitting over in the grant fund. And you're pissing that away to people that can't manage their own properties. And we asked the volunteer fire department, who has come and said, hey, there's times we need extra and better equipment, and we're giving it to NGOs. I don't like the fact that we're doing that. Me personally, it doesn't make any sense to me. Your trustees take care of the entire population, guys. The entire population. Name me one NGO that takes care of the entire population that we give it to. The answer is zero.
I think,
Split that money up and give it to the trustees and get the fire department whole. Because giving money away, your job with this casino money, Jamie knows this, we've gone back and forth in arguments. It says right in the code to take care of the unit. The unit is the county. The unit is not all these other NGOs. The unit is the county. And right now, with what you guys are proposing, I don't believe, me personally, as a taxpayer, you are taking care of the county's unit.
yeah, I respect your opinion.
I don't know if that's just my opinion. You folks that are the trustees and also the volunteer fire department, you need to speak up too.
One thing I can tell you is I've been cut since I've been trustee. Our money's been cut and I try to cut spending. First thing I started doing was asking people to give back. That helped save a lot of money. Mike Bear, when he was on council, come to my office one day and said, hey, if you don't use all the money you're budgeted for, where's it go? It says, stays in my account, and I try to use it for things that we need in our township. I said, when's the last time you see me in front of the council or the commissioners begging for money? He said, you don't. I said, exactly. I try to work with what I got, and stay within my means. And, you know, I'm not doing that, and I don't think any of the other trustees are either. But, you know, I can't tell you how many funerals or different things that pop up throughout the year. The flood, like Jamie, you know, when Bennington Pike got hit, and Joe, you were the commissioner yet, some of you guys. Look, I had a cemetery down there on the corner of Old Bill Carpenter's place. I was out 15 grand. I had the money to do it. And we had to take care of it. And I'm not getting FEMA money. I had money set back for that. We were good. So I think we're all trying to stay within our means. I know Travis has invested money. We're all trying to do, Aaron, everybody, we talk a lot. So we're trying to hold on to what we got and maintain. I think we're all doing a pretty good job of it. So I don't think we're doing anything crazy out there. But, you know, you never know what you can get into. We don't have a lot of natural disasters or haven't had around here, but we don't have a place. If there was an emergency, tornado come through, we don't have a place to put anybody. And we don't have an emergency shelter. Fire departments open up. I'm not saying this place, I think they open this up too. That's something else we probably should think about. So look, maybe we should be coming to these all along, guilty as charged, but going forward, I mean, I think Matt brings up a good point. What take care of the unit if we need to.
I'd like to speak as the clerk. I have a staff of 3 people in my office. This year, the county came to us and said, can you cut 3.5%? We did. 3.5% equated to all of our salaries. So maintenance supplies, office equipment. I'm having a hard time justifying the optics to give to an NGO, maintenance, office supplies, and salaries, when you ask all of us to cut that. It just looks bad. And I have no problem giving to NGOs if there's money left over after you've taken care of your own staff, your own employees, and your own county people.
I'm gonna be very transparent. I'm a big believer in the 4-H. And I don't agree with everything that goes on with the YMCA. But something that the community needs to understand about the YMCA. You take that away, you shut down school programs. And the taxpayers, you're gonna fund a pool, you're gonna fund a new gym that's gonna be eliminated. You gotta take that into consideration. I don't agree with everything that's going on there, but it does serve a purpose that's saving taxpayers money.
Joe, do you have any idea how much is in the endowment of the school?
Just over $1 million.
I'd say that's more than enough for them to fund. If the school wants the programs, then Mr. Height, the superintendent, needs to be the decision maker. The county gives him money.
Right,
That's what
but
the money's for.
a basic gym is gonna start at $2 million. A pool's gonna be that, then it's gonna be $100 a year to keep it up. Paying $35,000 or $50,000 to the Y, that's cheap. So that's all I'll say on it. I'm pretty passionate about it.
The difference is that the trustees serve every individual in this county, every one of them. The Y does not service every individual in the county, and you have to pay to be a member. Not everybody can afford to be pay to be a member.
That's incorrect. If you can't afford to be a member of the Y, then the entity there will provide dollars for scholarships. Those scholarships are for membership. So basically, in a regular community, like where you have Hillenbrand and Batesville, name something else now, those dollars will come from donations from industry because it's a 501c3. We don't have that here. The Y was built on several premises, one of which was everyone in even 1985 surveys wanted a swimming pool, wanted walking facilities. Then you go up to the work Sarah Bertho did in 2000, 99 probably. Everybody that attended these group meetings wanted those same types of facilities. The other thing which Joe was mentioning there is that just basically, if nothing else, the opportunity cost of providing those services through the school corporation. So where we've established that swimming is going on and swimming within from Ohio County, across the river, Ripley County somewhat, the opportunity cost of building that pool where you have an existing pool and you can maintain it is just ludicrous. I don't know, it seems as if the county's being people within the county are trying to run the different aspects of the community without having children or grandchildren here. So at that rate, it's like, well, we don't give a shit about kids, just screw it. Let's just let that go. Let's not do the obvious thing, which would be to put a small increment of guaranteed NGO percentage in for the Y in organizations like that. Yeah, I'm done. Unless you want more.
Well, I got a question for you, Doc.
Okay.
So you think we should guarantee an NGO money while we reduce operations within the county?
Well,
We should not fund our operations, but should fund NGOs.
Well, look, we're the worst, the health department. When we get cut 70-some% of last year's budget.
Not from the county, you didn't.
Well, I had the council harping, I just had one member of the council harping at us.
You didn't get cut by the council, you got cut by the state.
We did not get cut by the state this year.
Okay.
DGLF was like a year or two ago, and those were actually dollars that were made during COVID by the health department. And DLGF comes in, scoops it up, and they have that, and they sort it out across the rest of the agencies within the county.
Give them feedback.
Yeah.
So here's what I'd like to propose. Rather than us going ahead and voting tonight, I think there's people here that haven't spoke up that maybe would like to voice an opinion. Don't necessarily, maybe don't want to do it in public.
Reach out to
Let's
us.
wait a week. Ryan will be back next week. We'll take a vote in a week. We may leave the distributions the way they are, we may change them, but that'll give you all time to reach out. If you want to reach out to the commissioners, voice your concerns if you have any. Feel free to give me a call. I'm sure, well, obviously you can call any of us, right?
Right.
So we'll
Information's
just table
on,
it
yeah,
till next meeting.
information's on the website. Yeah, 2-2.
I'll send you and Ryan
That file.
this. Yeah, I'll send it to you too, Gil. But since we didn't vote on it, doesn't really mean anything yet, so but I'll send it to you.
So I have a question. The House passed where the trustees may be done away with, and it has to go to the Senate. When does that happen? So is that
I don't
soon?
know.
So, you know, that's not the county doing it, that's the state
State,
doing it
right.
to us.
So,
I think July 1, that could go into effect.
yeah, it has to be, if it goes through, it has to be done by June the 1st. Then it would take effect, I believe, July 1. Let us reach out to Garrett, our lawyer.
Well, he had told me he thought that our terms would finish for this year and it would start in January. But then I read something online, it said something about 2028. And I thought, well, that doesn't make sense because then that means we'd have another year to go.
Yeah, there's
I didn't know.
I mean, we're a year in of Braun being in office, and we still don't have a clear definition of SB 1.
It would make a lot of sense to have elections and elect trustees in a year
Yeah,
or
it'll turn
whatever.
around.
It don't change it, but
Yeah.
it's government, right?
Yeah, they could do a carryover just for one more year as well, you know, you do it in 27 and then 28, start with the person. And I'm assuming there's something if everything gets through.
Right.
So I'll make a motion to table a vote on casino revenue distribution until our next
February
meeting, which is February the
Second.
second.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Moving on to new business. John, you're up.
Park Board, Thursday, January 15th, at our regularly scheduled meeting at the library, had two board members of YPAC present. We have a new signed contract for 2026 for baseball at Markland Park, and we have their insurance paperwork early. Park Board's in good hands for 2026 as I got reelected president. Our new clerk treasurer is doing a great job. Tuesday, January 13th, visited all three parks, cleaned up some fallen branches at Patriot. Mobile home eyesore is still at Bryan's Creek. At Markland Park, I worked with Brian and Nick of H&B Systems. They replaced our monitor at long last and recorder at no charge. And I informed Sheriff Brian that afternoon. Monday, January 19th, I spoke to H&B Systems. We had a key there so we could access the keyboard. They took our key, but everything else has been replaced. And the cameras are working now. And I talked to Brian yesterday, and his system is not working at the sheriff's office, but it is at our facility. And that's it.
Thank you.
Sir. Thank you.
Ty Sullivan, you're up.
Thank you guys for the opportunity. I just wanted to kind of give an update from a community foundation standpoint. In the past year, the community foundation has been awarded over $1 million from Lilly Endowment through their various gift initiatives. And those resources are being strategically placed back into our community where we feel that the greatest needs exist. And this is based on feedback that we received from the community. About 3 years ago, we facilitated some community listening sessions. We had about 90 different community members that participated over the course of 3 days. And we're taking all of that feedback that was put into a needs assessment, and we're applying these grant dollars from Lilly Endowment back into the community. It's highlighted by the Live Well Switzerland County initiative that we launched earlier this year that purchased the mobile medical clinic that is owned and operated by Encompass Healthcare. Additionally, we have partnered with several other community organizations like Purdue Extension, the Health Department, the FFA chapter, Patriot Passion Project there in Patriot, Girls Inc. out of Jefferson County, and the School Corporation, just to name a few. But I invite anyone from council or commission, if you're ever interested in learning more about the Live Well Switzerland County Initiative through the foundation, please stop by our office. I'd be more than happy to sit down and detail out all the great programs and projects we're implementing into the county. The reason that I'm here this evening is to present some information about endowment funds that directly benefit the county. And we appreciate the generous donors from the Community Foundation or organizations that have made these funds available. First, I would like to detail the Switzerland County Safe Haven Baby Box Fund. It was established by our board of directors in 2022 in an effort to provide sustainable and long-term funding for the local Safe Haven Baby Box, which is housed at SCER building. That fundraising campaign that was done in the community raised excess dollars that was needed for the installation of that box. So there's about $4,500 still left at the headquarters of Safe Haven Baby Box, and Ryan's done a really good job as far as trying to purchase items that could benefit maybe a surrender of a baby at the Safe Haven Baby Box. But there's some additional funding there. Once that funding is fully expensed at the headquarters of Safe Haven Baby Box, we do have an endowment that will pay out an annual distribution. The Switzerland County Fund for Senior Living was established in 21 by the commissioners and provides the foundation board of directors discretion to grant awards to senior citizen-related programs or projects that benefit residents over age of 60 here in Switzerland County. The Randy Knott Fund for the Animal Shelter was established in 2011 and provides an annual distribution to the county to support the needs of Switzerland County Animal Shelter. So I have a check this evening for the animal shelter. The Switzerland County Animal Shelter Fund in memory of John and Hazel Danclad was established by the commissioners in 2007. This fund also provides annual distribution to the county, and I have a check this evening for the animal shelter. I'm proud to report that in 2025, we had another endowment created for the animal shelter, the Ralph and Kathy Tucker Fund for Switzerland County Animal Shelter. So this time next year, it should generate its first distribution. So I hope to be back here next January with a check for the animal shelter. As it pertains to the animal shelter, the foundation is partnering with Wade and his advanced manufacturing students at the high school, and they are budgeting, designing, and manufacturing dog houses for the animal shelter through grant dollars from the Community Foundation. The Switzerland County Quality of Life Improvement Fund was established in '98 by the commissioners and provides an annual distribution to the county to be used as needed. So I have a check this evening on behalf of the Improvement Fund, which I know that in the past has been used for general operating, for maintenance, and for NGO grant making. So that can be used at your discretion. That's per the grant agreement, whatever the greatest needs of the county are at the time. I think it's worth noting that a few community foundations in the state that there are community foundations in the state that help manage opioid settlement funding and facilitate grant making on behalf of their respective counties. So if there's ever any interest from the commissioners or council on partnership with the Community Foundation and us helping to facilitate any type of grant making with opioid settlement dollars, we would be more than happy to have that discussion. So I will leave these checks here. Yeah. Good. Thank you guys.
Thanks,
Thank you. Tom and William.
All right, we're here as a election board, and we got an election coming up, and we're here to ask for some help from the highway department on moving some equipment during the elections. We've asked for volunteers, and every year it's the same thing. We raise the hands, but nobody shows up.
Less and less every year.
And it ends up being me and Tom. And what we're asking for is during the satellite voting at the precincts, we get some help moving the equipment. If you could possibly find a way to help us.
You said you found a code.
They said it's a code.
Here's the
It
code right
basically
here.
has to be
It's
in
not
the
exact,
building
but
by 6 p.m. the day before the date of election or whatever. Is that correct?
It's gotta be.
And all we need is it moved. We don't need it set up. We can set it up. All we need is some help moving the equipment and the cones and all the stuff to set up.
How many different locations are we talking about?
And how many Saturdays?
Okay, we're gonna have one Saturday that's gonna have East Enterprise and Patriot. And then another Saturday is gonna be Moorfield. And then this tech center on every one of those Saturdays. And then the general election will just be here.
So we're talking 2 Saturdays,
Two Sat-
two locations,
8 to
or
4.
3 locations.
And it won't even be the whole day that they've got to be there. It would just be the night before and then at the end of the day, helping us pick them up and bring them back to the courthouse.
So if we get them in on a Friday, if we take them in on a Friday and you get them set up, can we come and pick them up on a Monday instead of a Saturday?
No,
you can't.
we can't do that.
We have to move the equipment, so.
You gotta be under
on
lock
Saturdays,
and
we
key,
utilize
too.
the same equipment, and we pick it up and move it from location to location. We can leave it there, like, technically, we've used the firehouses, and they allowed us to set up at night, the night before, so we're ready to go in the morning. For here, for the tech center, for election day itself, we set up the night before and.
But my question
we can
is,
Pick up on Monday.
rather than picking them up the next day, which is on a Saturday, or excuse me, on a Sunday, can we do that on Monday? So that we don't have to,
The equipment on the weekends on the Saturdays has to come back here after it's over, because it goes.
well,
from-
if you can set it up a day early,
Yeah, why can't
you take it down a day late? I don't understand that.
It's election security.
Yeah, it's because of the votes already being in the machines.
And if I remember right, so East Enterprise and Patriot. So one would be 8 to noon, and then 1 to 5.
Yeah,
Two to 6.
2 to
but
6.
we'd set them both up the night before. So it would just be, when we close the one when we shut down the one at noon, that
Then it's
equipment
moved
can
to
be
the
moved.
next, yeah.
And then when we shut down the other one at the end of the evening, that one can be moved.
So
But
there's
it's
3
just
Moves
moves.
to where, the courthouse?
courthouse.
So 3 moves per day. Essentially, you get it there the night before,
Yes.
noon, after. What's your thoughts?
That's up to you.
I mean, per IC code, we have to provide the service.
A pickup truck
Doesn't
and two
necessarily have
guys
to be
can
the highway
help.
department if we
Right.
got somebody else that can do it.
Yeah. Okay, do we need to make,
Do you guys have something to put them in? Do they have to provide the trailer or anything, or you got the trailer?
We provide whatever we need, but we had an enclosed one. Even one of these days, it's gonna be raining or snowing, and
Right.
we've never had that
Right now,
problem
we
yet.
just throw it in the back of our pickup trucks. That's what me and Tom do.
So they wouldn't necessarily have to have something?
But then like Tom just said, we haven't had a point to where it's been pouring down the rain on us.
yeah, we'll make it work. So let's, first week of May.
April, it'll be 30 days. It's gonna be-
Okay,
Karen, when's the first day that the satellite voting is open?
Since that Saturday, April.
Third week in April?
okay, we'll make it work. Let us
Okay.
get our heads
All right.
together.
Can we make some type of schedule that we can?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what we plan to do in our office, is we're gonna make a move schedule just to make it easier.
Yeah,
Because we'll know the exact pieces of equipment that has to move, what has to move with it, and what time it has to be to a certain location, just to make it easier for everybody.
yeah, to see what's going on.
Okay, I'll make a motion to help with the election board, moving the equipment for the spring and fall election.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
we
Thanks, guys.
appreciate you.
Thank you, guys.
Zach?
Hello, I'm here to get approval for our commissioner sale that I'd like to have. And this is Zach from SRI. He's a gentleman that helps me with the tax sale service that we
What we
have.
do, we work with almost every county in the state to handle tax sales, sheriff sales, and in a given year, so a little background. I know you talked about this maybe at the last meeting or a couple meetings ago. The commissioner sale or the commissioner certificate sale is what's left over from the original tax sale that happens here. Typically, it's in the middle of September. Those are kind of ones that just circulate year after year, and the idea is to clean it up and hopefully get it into the hands of somebody that's going to pay the tax, going to pay the taxes going forward, and just unfortunately kind of cut losses on the old taxes. I'm happy I can run through the process at a high level if you want, or I can just answer questions, however you want to.
Why don't you just run through it real quick?
All right.
At a high level.
High level. All right. So we
Reader's
start.
Digest version.
We start with the tax sale. That's an annual process. Starts on January 1st with the list of properties that are eligible. They get sent a notice that says, hey, your property's on the tax sale. You've got until the day before the tax sale to come in, pay your taxes, stay off the sale. We had the sale. I think we had maybe 30-ish properties for the sale this year. About half of them, a little less than half, didn't sell. That's gone up, maybe 3 or 4 properties every year. It used to be, I remember 6-7 years ago, we'd have like 1 left over. But you don't sell it at the sale, and then some counties will just let them go. To my knowledge, there's never been a certificate sale here. Other counties will do a certificate sale every year. The bigger counties, especially, like a Madison County, they've got 100 left over every year, and they just keep it going. Smaller ones like Jefferson, they had one last year. They hadn't had one in 7 or 8 years before. Dearborn, kind of the same story. After that, you have 2 routes that you can go down. The commissioners can take title to the property, and then you can auction them off there, and you're auctioning off a deed at that point. With this one, you'll be auctioning off a lien, same as you do at the regular tax sale. You've just lowered it down below. Most of these are $300 to $700 in back taxes. There's a couple of them that are up in the multiple thousands. You drop that down, get people in the room. Maybe there's one on here that's $12,000. Maybe that property is actually worth $5,000, and somebody will buy it for $5,000, but they're not going to buy it for $12,000. So you get that, and then you kind of just move along. The regular tax sale has a 1-year redemption period. The commissioner's sale has 120 days. So you've shrunk down that time, make it a little bit more desirable, along with lowering the minimum bid. We help with all of the calculations of redemptions and the calendars and making sure everything's done properly. I think I probably just confused you even more because the tax sale's kind of a weird thing.
So do you do it as a flat rate or?
Yeah, what's your
commission?
So our thank you. The regular tax sale is a flat fee on each parcel that either gets paid prior to the sale or at the sale when it sells. With this one, these Yvette has the last payments on here. So some of these have been on here 5-6 times. So there's 5 or 6 years of that flat fee on there. That goes away if it sells in this sale, and it would be 15% of the bid amount. So for each one, 15%. Sometimes that's more than we would have gotten paid in the regular sale. Most of the time, it's less, maybe half.
What's a total outstanding dollar?
About 30,000. About 12 parcels.
So what happens to the lien? Like the one that you're talking about, that's 12,000.
There's a
lien on that.
it would go away. Just the same as is it like a
It's a
sewer lien? Yeah. So if it's sold at the regular tax sale, that would be paid as part of the minimum bid. If it sells at the commissioner's sale, that lien gets taken away. So anything that's on there, anything that's included in that 12,000 that was the original minimum bid amount, that gets wiped off, with the exception of whatever the bid was. But so if the bid's 5,000, then 7,000 gets wiped off. And the same thing for I would assume none of these have them, but if there was a mortgage, if there's interest, other interested parties, they have the opportunity to come in and protect their interest by redeeming it. If they don't, then their interest is wiped out.
I'm just curious, so if you buy a property, you just can't turn around, there has to be when you can sell that property?
So if you bought it here or you bought it at the regular tax sale, there's a redemption period on the lien. During that time, the buyer's responsible for identifying any interested parties. Could be a mortgage, it could be sewer district, whatever it might be. They have to send notice to those interested parties and give them the opportunity to protect their interest. If they don't do that and that redemption period expires, then they would go and petition the court for a tax deed. Once they have the tax deed, sometimes it's an insurable title, sometimes it's not, just because it's not the cleanest thing as far as real estate transactions go. But you could buy a lien and then get the deed and then sell it to him later on. There would be nothing that would stop you from doing that. It's just not a super clean chain of title as if you were doing a regular real estate transaction. But there's nothing to stop you. Just a different real estate tool.
Some of these properties have just been sitting and, accruing, because every year we have a tax sale, and every year they get charged a tax sale fee, no matter if it's sold or if it sits there. Some of these things have been here since 2008, so they're just sitting there accruing tax sale fees. So
Those can be attached to, I don't know the answer to this, to your state refund. Can we go after these people through that?
If there's you're talking about the Trex program?
Yeah.
If there's enough there, you could. And you might know better than me. I know the Trex as a periphery thing, but my understanding is a lot of times there's not enough money to cover the full amount. And if you're covering half of,
I'm not saying for all of them, but the
Yeah.
$12,000 one.
well, the problem is that we can't find these people. Some of them don't live here any longer. Some of them are deceased.
Okay.
There's no heir, so it just sits there. Just every year it just keeps, the same process goes through, and it's like, so I, just figured we need to move on it and do something different.
I do want to clarify
Put it
one
back.
thing on the fee. If we have this sale and nobody comes and bids, it doesn't cost the county anything. So it's only on what's collected. There's no minimum fee or anything like that. And that's the same thing for our regular tax sale fee. If somehow nobody comes in and pays their taxes and nobody buys anything at the sale, we don't
So
invoice the
like
county
this,
for anything.
worst case would be like $4,500.
I would imagine that it's probably not even going to be that.
Yeah.
But I mean, truly the worst case is you're not out anything.
Right.
Because if nobody shows up, I'll just pack up my stuff and go home.
Okay.
And that's it.
So just thought we would get it cleaned up this year.
We're really not out anything. Right.
Yeah, you're not collecting it anyway.
So.
It's kind of a weird concept to think about because you're trying to save money and collect everything you can, and then but some of these one of them hasn't been paid since 2008.
Yeah.
So nobody's coming in to pay that.
So you just need us to approve it?
Yeah, so there's a resolution that has to be signed for the commissioners establishing that you want to have this sale. And then there's an addendum to our contract. I have a copy of both of those in here. And it looks like Yvette has one as well. Doesn't have to be signed today.
Yeah, we'll have to look at it.
Yeah.
I'm fine with making a motion to approve it contingent upon a review by
Okay.
county attorney.
I'll second. All in favor?
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You have it on this one.
If you want to give them that one, put it cleaner.
Board reports, we have an endowment meeting on the 27th of January. I don't know if we're only 20 days in, so there's probably not been any meetings. Anything from your side? I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I was supposed to be over here. So may I approach, please?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, we forgot, Brian told us he was gonna be here, but he wasn't on the agenda. Then we forgot.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay, no problem. The health department has an opening, environmental health specialist. So we're here to say we'd like to have that filled. We just need your blessings to do that.
Environmental health specialist, that's the same as sanitary or whatever.
Well, the Indiana Department of Health had, I heard that somebody said that we had changed that. The Indiana Department of Health changed that. It is now officially the Indiana Environmental Health Specialist. I think it's just that our records in the county level hasn't been changed and updated, but yeah. That position covers any environmental health.
Make a motion to approve backfilling a vacant position for environmental health specialist.
I'll second. All in favor?
Thanks.
Oh, we were gonna discuss the board appointment for the health department. Sharon Stevenson.
Yeah, you were gonna call her. Did you get it?
Yeah, we've met with her, and if it's just whatever you decide. There's no other applicants,
I don't
but
have
she's
any.
the only one, and we only have one position left.
See if that's all things.
What's her name?
Sharon Stevenson, you have an application for
Yeah,
her.
I do have an application for her. You guys reviewed that application 2 weeks ago.
And,
then they were gonna get in touch with her.
and
So
we
just
did, and
need to
she
make a
was,
motion to-
her political, was independent, but she changed that to Republican, and that's what we need.
So now it's a balanced board.
It's a balanced board.
I'll make a motion to approve Sharon Stevenson to the health board.
Health board,
I'll second.
All in favor?
all done, thanks.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
We're all done.
Oh, I was gonna start looking, see if that's. I can figure it out.